Hello there. If you live outside the US of A and you have a DJI FPV drone, it's restricted. The battery power and the signal strength are limited. But there's a hack. You can go onto a site called Beyond. It's not an E, it's a 3, and you can unlock your drone from there. I've done that with Laddie, my DJI FPV drone, and I'm going to take him on a flight similar to the one I did a couple of weeks ago to see if the goggles lose their signal, they get pixelation at a further distant, at a further away point than they did before, or if the pixelation happens at the same time. I'm also going to see how long it will fly for in one battery. The last time it flew in normal mode at full throttle was 11 minutes and 35 seconds. We'll see if the hack has extended the flying time in normal mode at full throttle as well. I'll compare it with the last video I did here when the drone was not hacked and see if there's any difference. Let's get Laddie up. So he's flying along now in normal mode with a tailwind at 33 miles per hour. He's flying at 65 feet, which will be enough to clear the trees and to clear the little power line on the other side of the trees. We've got 28 satellites, and the RC and the HD signals are full. So I'm going to have to take him up a little bit to pass over this bing. So he's now flying at 100 feet. Take him up a little bit more to make sure we're clear of the bing. It's now up to 150 feet. Now that green spot right in the centre of the screen there is where he reached last time before they had his first pixelation on the goggles. So I'm hoping to get beyond that today now that I've used this hack that's supposed to increase the signal strength and is supposed to increase the battery power. So he's flying at 200 feet now. I'll take him up to 250. There are quite strong breezes and little gusts happening, but I haven't had a warning just yet. But just right in the centre where that, I think it's a farmhouse, the green area is where he reached the last time when he had his first pixelation. And that was about 8,000 feet away. And he is tilted slightly because there is a wind blowing. You can actually see him drifting off to the right. I'll pull him back on course a little bit. Straighten him up, but if I straighten his flight, he will get pushed over. So I'm starting to see a tiny bit of pixelation. I'll lift him up to 250 feet. In fact, we'll go up to, might as well go up to 300. Right, so he's at 300 feet now, and just in between this little burn of this wee river and this green area is where he started to pixelate on the last flight. So let's see if we get the pixelation here at the same point. I don't see any yet. It was just as he entered the green. I am starting to see a bit of pixelation on the green there, but it's still fairly clear. It's only the green on the ground that's pixelating. So he's almost at 11,000 feet now and I haven't seen any pixelation, so that's pretty good. Certainly a little bit further than he got last time. Now I've got an HD down to, well, it's up to 3 bars now as I've increased his height 10 feet. So he's flying along now at 300, and I'll just push him up a little bit, 320 feet. No pixelation, 76% battery power. (12,500 feet). The HD signal is now down to 2 orange bars. It's back up to 3 orange bars as I raise them up a little bit. And I've got a big lorry stopping behind me now. What's that wanting? God knows. Right, I've got a low battery, so it's going to start auto-returning in 1 second. Okay, so there's my low battery return. What I'll do is I'll cancel that and just head back myself. 72% battery. And a low battery warning because I was at 14,000 feet away there and flying at 340 feet. Now no pixelation, so that does seem to have made a difference. Quite a big difference, in fact. I'm seeing a little bit of pixelation on the screen there, but nothing much. So that certainly seems a lot better. And the only other thing to see if it's any better now is the flight time. Will I get a longer flight time in normal mode at full throttle with this hack installed? And here's quite a bit of pixelation happening now, as you can see that on the screen there. A lot of pixelation, but it's gone, so it will happen for a second. And that could have been because I passed over that farm. So they could have signals, Wi-Fi signals and all sorts going on there, and that's what caused that. So as you can probably see, little bits of pixelation on the ground there, but nothing that's going to prevent me from having a fairly clear view. So that's me just past 10,000 feet away from home, 62% battery, still 11 minutes left in the battery. Flying into the wind at 24 miles per hour. And here we're passing over these shapes in the ground. Which I still not 100% sure what they are. Unless it's just human beings having made patterns. For anyone who has a mind of conspiracy. So in the last test I did here a couple of weeks back, Laddie flew in normal mode at full throttle as he is now. And he lasted 11.5 minutes until the low battery warning. But I don't think it's a very scientific test because the low battery warning will go off a lot earlier the farther away you are from your home point. So I think a better test of the battery power in regards to the length of time you can fly for is to fly until you get a critical low. In fact, I don't think there is a scientific way, because you'd have to fly the exact same route before and after. Well, I did that, didn't I? Aye, so we can compare where the low battery warning went off. But I think this time the low battery warning went off a little bit later, and I was further away than it did on the last test. You'll know that by now, because I'll have the two comparison videos up, this one with the flight from the last time, and of course the third screen is going to be the camera view. So you have the camera view as well as the goggles view. And that smoke you can see there in the distance, that's from the Barony Egger plant, and Lassie has flown through that steam on a couple of occasions. So here we are approaching the home point, and still with 6 minutes and 23 seconds left in the battery at 35% power. And I've been flying for 11.5 minutes. So I'll bring Laddie down. So there, I don't think that's a scientific test now. It occurs to me that low battery warning will go off earlier the farther away you are. So the only way to get a real comparison with this hack to see if the battery lasts longer is to fly a pre-planned route twice, or rather to fly the exact same route, staying fairly close to your home point twice, but making sure that you fly exactly the same route using the exact same amount of throttle, and that way you'll get a comparison. That's the only way I think you can really do it. If anyone has an idea other than that, let me know in the comments and I'll have a go. If you'd like to see the other flight that I did with Laddie, that video there will take you to it. Meantime, I'm out of here.